Last summer we joined a combined rally run by the Royal Naval Sailing Association and the Royal Naval Volunteer Reserve Yacht Club to Normandy, marking the 75th anniversary of the D-Day landings. Our channel crossing from Poole to Saint-Var, just east of Cherbourg, beyond the Pointe de Barfleur, was approximately 75 miles.
We left Poole at first light at the end of May, sailing past Swanage Bay, Peveril Point, our home in the clouds, and Durlston Head, with a pleasant westerly 3 for the crossing.
Our route took us across the shipping lanes, where AIS, the Automated Identification System, proved useful as ever in aiding collision avoidance. This chart shows our cruising ground in Normandy, stretching from Saint-Var-la-Hougue in the northwest corner to Ouistreham in the southeast. Saint-Var is now a pleasant Norman fishing port, but boasts 2 Vauban towers built to keep the English at bay. As with most Norman ports, the significant tidal ranges limit the times of access to the port. One of the Vauban forts is on the Ile de Tatiou. The second, Tour de Vauban, guards the other end of the bay. Access to the Ile de Tatiou is via this amphibious bus.
Normandy landings covered the area from Ouistreham to just north of Carentan. 132,000 landed across the beaches and 23,400 by parachute or glider on D-Day. Opposing the landings was the Atlantic Wall, a coastal defence system of gun emplacements, entrenchments and obstructions. These 2 diagrams show the artillery fire plan for the Baie de Seine, showing the ranges of the artillery and their interlocking arcs of fire, presenting a significant challenge to the invading forces. The western extremity of the landing beaches is Utor, which is separated from the other beaches by the estuaries of the Baie de Grandvay and the waterway to Carentan. The plan was for the troops landing across the beaches to link up with the airborne forces which had been dropped early on the morning of the 6th of June 1944. The green area on the chart dries at low water, so careful timings are required to access across the bay and into the Canal de Carentan. Low-lying land was deliberately flooded by the Germans as part of the defences of Carentan. Access to the basin is via a lock. At low water, the canal becomes a shallow ditch. This Bailey Bridge replaces an earlier bridge destroyed during the fighting.
The French maintain a lot of World War II and other historic military vehicles, and exercise the amphibious ones in the basin at Carentan. Carentan is a provincial town and was once a busy port. In June, it is re-invaded by the American military. We had a misty start to the morning, but it burnt off prior to our departure. This is a landing craft vehicle personnel, otherwise known as a Higgins boat, which was used at D-Day. Utah Beach seen from the sea. As can be seen from the chart, wrecks abound, although many more have been cleared.
The next port to the east is Grand Combe-Maisy. Arrival needs to be made around high water to enter the locked basin. Not far from Grand Combe is the Maisy Battery. This was functioning on D-Day and saw 5 hours of intense combat by the US Rangers to take it on the 8th of June, having been shelled earlier by HMS Hawkins on both the 5th and 6th of June. Bizarrely, the site was buried in the aftermath of D-Day and was little known until relatively recently. This 155 howitzer is representative of the guns that were in the battery on D-Day. The beach at Grand Combe-Maisy looking towards the west.
A couple of miles further to the east is the more famous site of Pointe du Hoc. This was taken by the US Rangers on D-Day, who climbed the cliffs to discover the incompleted battery at the top, with telegraph poles in lieu of gun barrels. They subsequently went on to take Maisie. Sailing along the coast, in the run-up to D-Day 75, there were frequent overflights of modern military aircraft, like these 3 Ospreys. Heading east again, we reached Port-en-Bessin. An active fishing port, it had an important role to play in the Normandy landings, as it was chosen to be the French end of Pluto, the pipeline under the ocean, which was the logistic support to get fuel to vehicles as they pushed into France. The pipelines were laid across this beach. This was the first port to be taken in Normandy, but it was no easy task, as it was very well defended and included 2 flagships in the outer harbour. There's another Vauban tower here at Port-en-Bessin, but there were added to that a large number of more recent German batteries. These contemporary photographs show the pipelines coming in and some of the heavy damage inflicted on the town. Predominantly a fishing port, there's a small area for yachts to moor as well. The task to take Port-en-Bessin fell to 4-7 Commando, who landed elsewhere and advanced on Port-en-Bessin from inland, but they still faced very stiff opposition. The Royal Marines have a memorial here, on the cliff top above a German bunker, with a well-attended memorial service on the 7th or 8th of June. With their backs to the sea are a row of alternate current and veteran Royal Marines.
To provide the logistic support, a port was needed. The existing major ports were too well defended. It was then decided to build 2 ports from scratch, Mulberry A and B. Superb feats of engineering and ingenuity. The individual elements were fabricated in the UK and towed across the Channel and assembled. The Americans cut a few corners and had their port operating first, but it was destroyed in a storm. Fortunately, the British Mulberry at Arromanches was repairable and was used by all for some months. Elements of the Mulberry Harbour are still visible today, especially the Phoenix caissons. Ashore in Arromanches, there is a museum and a number of other elements that have been restored from the Mulberry. There are many memorials in Normandy, but until last year there was none dedicated solely to the British. Although inaugurated on the 6th of June by Theresa May, it is not yet finished, having suffered from the effects of Storm Cara and Dennis.
At the eastern end of the beaches is Ouistreham, a ferry and commercial port. Sword Beach is immediately to the west of the harbour entrance. At dawn on 6th of June 2019, the tide was much as it had been 75 years earlier. Now without all the beach obstacles, you could see just how much exposed beach the troops had to cross, mainly on foot. Some duplex-drive tanks swam ashore, although many were lost on the approaches, having been launched too far out and in rough seas. Sword Beach, although in the British zone, also saw the landing of French troops at the Fusiliers Marins attached to 4 Commando under the command of Captain de Corvette Kiefer. To this day, Kiefer Commando, one of 6 special forces within the Fusiliers Marins, part of the French Navy, hold their passing out ceremonies annually on Sword Beach on the 6th of June. There were many memorial events on the 6th of June. These included the dedication of a new memorial to Philippe Kiefer near the Sword Flame and a statue to Lord Lovat.
Grand Bunker Museum is within a fire control tower adjacent to the harbour at Ouistreham. A photograph on the right shows an 88mm anti-aircraft gun. The lower insert in the centre is the turret of a Hotchkiss tank, which was reused by the Germans as a strong point and above a model of the fire control tower.
On the beach is an interesting memorial, unveiled in the presence of world leaders at the 70th anniversary, including a quote from Winston Churchill in 1948. Men will be proud to say, "I am a European." We hope to see a Europe where men of every country will think as much of being a European as belonging to their native land. We hope that wherever they go in the European continent, they will truly feel, "Here I am at home."
In addition to the current military aircraft, there are a number of overflights of C-47 Skytrains, better known to us as the Dakota. The Belle Epoque Villa providing foreground to a Dakota. A number of the Dakotas have been repainted in their D-Day colour schemes showing the invasion stripes. Also overflying our marina. Access to Ouistreham is via a pair of locks leading to the Canal de Caen, which allows ships to access the port of Caen and Caen itself. The first bridge is at Benouville, better known as Pegasus Bridge. A Dutch pipeline parading across the bridge. Bridges at Benouville and Ronville were the first objectives of D-Day, with glider-borne troops of the Ox and Bucks Light Infantry, led by Major John Howard, who landed just after midnight on the 6th of June. Carrying 28 troops, the 3 Horsa gliders landed immediately adjacent to the bridge and held it until reinforced and relieved by Lord Lovat's commandos, who had landed on the beaches. Half an hour later, 7 parachuted in to the adjacent drop zone to reinforce the Ox and Bucks Light Infantry.
A number of historic craft from D-Day were present at Pegasus Bridge, including MGB 81. Here is MGB 81's 20mm Oerlikon in a Mark V twin-power mounting. And here's the newly restored motor anti-submarine boat 27, or MASB 27. Just outside the village of Douvres-la-Délivrande is a radar museum on the site of a German radar site. Radars here included the giant Würzburg. As you can see, it was a significant piece of engineering. There's also a replica Freya radar with a wavelength of 2.4 metres and a peak power of 15 to 20 kilowatts. The site also had a Wassermann radar, which is now destroyed, along with the Freya radars. Inside one of the underground bunkers is a museum of the site and covers the history of radar. Doubtless recognise the waveguides, and here a variety of valves and a collection of magnetrons. Finally, a waveguide coupler. The displays also covered equipment sighted elsewhere, such as this fire control radar. A scale model showed how the building was constructed. The site would have included a plotting table like this Seeberg table.
Working in the lock at Ouistreham, a Skuld fast patrol boat of the Norwegian Navy, with stealth features and capable of 60 knots. We locked out at Ouistreham at 05:30 in the morning along with many of our fleet and in the company of some historic vessels. Masby 27, High Speed Launch 102, Motor Gumbo 81, all products of British powerboats at Hythe, en route to their next engagement.